If a candidate canceled the first two interviews, showed up late to the third one, and then decided to give vague answers as to their last job performance, you wouldn't even hire them. Wouldn't even get thought. So why did you give that man a fourth date? Here's what you actually use to evaluate past performances among people that you're considering. And think of it as the interview that we have in front of us drawn out live. This is the past performance. And this is based off of not what they say they'll do, but what they've actually done. Words versus action. Secondly, is references. And this is what real people have to say about this person and their experiences with them, and not just the story that they tell about themselves over time. How about consistency over time? This is a good one because we're not just looking for one hit wonders, right? We're looking for an ability to show the same behaviors and show a length of tangible evidence and results. It's not just one interview, but it's a pattern that you see across multiple experiences. Of course, you have your red flags, which are noted and not excused. Finally, a probationary period. The truth is, you don't just hand somebody the reins after one good interview. Trust gets extended based on performance in different stages, so it has to gradually grow. Now, let's actually investigate this because now, instead of this being a job opportunity, this is actually now your relationships that we're wanting to use the same scorecard for. Because you clearly get it in business, and we want to be able to transition this to your connections. Past performance is typically measured by how he treated you in the past, not necessarily what you're hoping he'll turn around in the future, right? Actual versus potential. Maybe to a different degree, how he's treated people in the past, because you're not necessarily the exception to the rule. How he's actually treated you, not just how he says he'll treat you. Let's look at references. What about friends, family members, parents, all of these other people that have had access to him? Okay. What has it looked like? Then what has their been experiences? What has their experiences been? Okay. Because it's all down to that being experienced for you in some degree. What do his friends' relationships look like? What does his family dynamic reveal? What do people who have actually dealt with him have to say about it? And then, of course, we have consistency, which is the actual patterns, behaviors. Where has he actually been compared to what he said? Has it matched up? Has it been different? Okay. We're looking for things that have been showing up consistently, one after another. Is this the fifth time he's shown up like this, or is this the first time you're seeing it and now you're getting aware of it? Let's actually probably list out the red flags you've seen. Okay. Not the stories that you've covered up for him or that you've made excuses for regarding him, but what are the behaviors you've seen that are giving off good alarms that this is questionable? Okay. The actual behaviors you've seen, what you've seen, not stories created. Because more times than not, you're quick to give excuses than you are actually labeling what's there in truth. Then we finally have the probationary period, which is where trust, okay, is earned in drops, right, in behaviors that are repetitive over time. Okay. This isn't trust that's given immediately. This is trust that is earned through small behaviors that are showing a pattern of consistency somewhere. Not just because the chemistry was good, you were feeling each other, it was a vibe. No, no, no. You're paying attention to actual behaviors, how he's showing up, what he's saying, and all the things that are giving you more and more reasons to trust him, which ultimately eliminates the idea that you should just trust them full on off rip until they give you a reason not to. It's earned in drops. So it's one behavior at a time. Here's why you don't already do this. Because it feels unromantic. We're going to put that word at the bottom because this doesn't feel like it's something that's a feel good moment, butterflies in the air. But in reality, this is actually something that makes the most sense for you to exercise the discernment that you know you need and choosing differently. It's unromantic. And truth is, somewhere you learned that real love means throwing out the scorecard. Skepticism is the opposite of intimacy, or that because you would do this, you're keeping the score, not really loving. And that's a whole different understanding of everything. Because truth is, a great hire still goes through the full process. It's not something that's just skipped because of the chemistry, the feel good moment, or one interview. Okay. That doesn't make the eventual trust less real because it was built up. Okay. We have to destroy that. Simply makes it earned, which is exactly what makes it durable. So, truth is, you already know how to run this evaluation. You do it professionally, more than likely weekly, and the skill transfers completely. The only thing that's missing is permission to use it here, which is exactly what I want you to take from this entire video, is using this as permission to discern what you have in front of you and move accordingly. And this is exactly a practical explanation and extension of what I really break down in a cornerstone video here regarding your relationships and why you don't actually have a relationship problem. Because that video names the pattern, and this is actually the tool that you'll come back to refresh your memory on to use healthily to adjust from the pattern that's exposed. So be sure to watch that video, and next time we'll talk about what people may usually get wrong when they try to use these scorecards effectively, and furthermore, how to hold a standard without turning yourself into a big giant wall that nobody can really connect or get through to. Subscribe for more, turn on your post bell notifications so you know when we post that video, and I'll see you over there. Peace.